In this video, we're going to take a look at the different parts of speech as well as pronouns. Now, in the last several videos, we've been taking a look at nouns. And nouns are part of the parts of speech. They are a building block in the English language. Now, when you build a building or a house, you need to know all about the different building blocks. You can't just build a house unless you know how the house is constructed. So you need cement, you need glass, you need electrical cables, and many more things. Without this knowledge, you would find it rather difficult to make a building or a house. And the English language is no different. Once you learn the basic building blocks, it will be much easier to speak and write English. So it is the parts of speech that are the basic building blocks of the English language. There are 8 major building blocks of the English language. Now, in the last several videos, we covered one of those parts, one of those building blocks, the noun. And we know that that is a person, place, or thing, and that nouns are usually the subject of a sentence. And you will remember there are 2 main types of nouns. There are proper nouns and common nouns. And of course, proper nouns are just specific nouns that have a name, and common nouns do not have a specific name. That's the major difference. So again, we looked at nouns, and that was the first part of speech that we learned. In the next several videos, we're going to learn about another building block, another major part of speech, the pronoun. And we'll get going on that in the next slide. There are also verbs, adjectives, adverbs, prepositions, interjections, and conjunctions. So we will learn about those in future videos. So once again, once you learn all of these basic building blocks, you will be well on your way to learning the English language and well on your way to writing English. Okay, so let's take a look at pronouns. Now, pronouns are very, very similar to nouns. They are very, very closely related. That's why the word noun is part of the word pronoun. Now, basically, all you have to know about pronouns is that they are substitutes for a noun or a noun phrase. So again, they're very similar. They act like nouns. And similar to nouns, pronouns can be the subject of a sentence. So in that way, they are very similar as well. So just remember this, pronouns will replace a noun. That's all they really do. That's the major function they have. So they sort of have the same role as a noun in a sentence. So if we take a look at this first example here, Amy is eating at a restaurant. Amy, of course, is a noun. That is a proper noun, of course, since it is a specific name. And of course, Amy is the subject of a sentence. Now let's take a look at this second sentence. She is eating at a restaurant. She replaces the noun Amy. That's why the word she is a pronoun. She is eating at a restaurant. And again, Amy was the subject of this first sentence, and the pronoun she is the subject of this sentence. So that is what this pronoun is doing. It's replacing Amy, and we're putting in place the word she. So again, nouns and pronouns are very, very closely related, as you can see. Let's take a look at this second set of examples. New York is a nice city. New York, of course, is a noun. Now, if we take a look at this second sentence, it's a nice city. The word it, that is a pronoun. The pronoun it replaces the noun New York. And again, they're very, very similar. It is the subject of this sentence. So it is another major type of pronoun. Football is an interesting sport. The word football, of course, is a noun. Now let's take a look at this second example. This is an interesting sport. We replace the word football with the word this. This is a pronoun. That's a type of pronoun. Again, it's replacing the word football, and it is the subject of the sentence. Now, let's take a look at this bottom example here. John was hungry. He decided to eat at his favorite Italian restaurant. Now, we have 2 sentences here. In the first sentence, John, of course, is the noun. In the second sentence, we used a pronoun right here, he. Now, this is usually how you want to use pronouns and nouns if you have multiple sentences. Generally, you want to use the noun in the first sentence. And the reason is we want to know exactly who was hungry. If I said he was hungry, John decided to eat at his favorite Italian restaurant, we wouldn't know in that first sentence who we were talking about. So that's why we put John in the first sentence. And then you can substitute the word John in the second sentence with the word he. And we know by that point that we're referring to John. So again, many times if you have multiple sentences, you will use the pronoun in the second sentence rather than using the noun. So the pronoun will come after the noun. And you can see that again in this example. And we'll talk about this more in the next several videos. Okay, that's going to do it for this video. In the next video, we will continue on with pronouns.